You're live.
All right, thank you very much, and welcome to the December 8th, 2020 City of Scottsdale Audit Committee meeting. Welcome to everyone who is joining us online today. This meeting, which is being held virtually, is also being broadcast on the city's YouTube channel for the public to be able to listen to our meeting. Also, as noted on our posted meeting agenda, written and spoken public comments can be submitted using the links provided on the agenda. Spoken comments will be allowed on the agenda action items. Written comments may address agendized or non-agendized matters. We have asked that any comments be submitted at least 90 minutes in advance of this meeting. Committee members and others are joining today through Zoom to participate in the meeting, and I want to remind participants of a few housekeeping items. When you are not speaking, please mute your device so we don't have any background noises. If you would like to make a comment, please wait for a pause to unmute and speak, or use the hand raise feature at the bottom of the panelist's screen. When you speak, please state your name so we will know who is talking. When you have finished talking, please say thank you so we know that you are done. Okay, we are ready to start our regular meeting. And I will call the meeting to order and ask Shelby to do the roll call, please.
Chair Kathy Littlefield.
Here.
Councilmember Virginia Cordy.
Here.
Vice Mayor Solange Whitehead.
Here.
Next on our agenda is the public comment. Sharon, are there any written or spoken comments submitted?
No, Madam Chair, we did not receive written or spoken comment requests.
Thank you. Then we can move on to item number 1, the approval of the minutes. Audit Committee members, are there any requested corrections, or may I have a motion for approval of the regular minute meetings of November 9th, 2020, and a second?
Sure, I will make a motion to approve the Audit Committee's meeting minutes.
And I second that.
Shelby, would you take a roll call vote, please?
Chair Littlefield.
Yes.
Councilmember Cordy.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Whitehead.
Yes.
Approval of the minutes has been done. Next is the discussion and possible direction to staff regarding the Development Review Board Sunset Review. Our presenter this afternoon is Sharon Walker, our City Auditor.
Madam Chair, members of the committee, the Development Review Board's purpose is to review all aspects of proposed design of a development, to establish design policies and guidelines that support the character and design goals and policies of the general plan, and to recognize the interdependence of land values, aesthetics, and good site planning. Further, the ordinance states that development review is intended to enrich the lives of all citizens of Scottsdale by promoting harmonious, safe, attractive, and compatible development. So the requested action here today will be to evaluate whether the board or commission being reviewed is serving its intended purpose, whether the purpose should be maintained or modified, and whether the purpose has been served or is no longer required. And then specifically, the audit committee is to recommend to the city council whether to continue or terminate the board or commission. And with us today is the Development Review Board's staff representative, Brad Carr, who may have comments to make.
Yes, thank you, Sharon. And good afternoon to Councilman Littlefield, Vice Mayor Whitehead, and Councilmember Cordy. I just want to make a quick note that Scottsdale has, as everybody knows, Scottsdale has a long-standing tradition of outstanding design and a well-ordered built environment. The Development Review Board was established to uphold the community's expectations for quality design and aesthetics, and I think it continues to do that. So I'm happy to hear any input that anybody might have, but I think that I'll continue to direct the board, and I think the board has a good, solid foundation to continue forward to provide that quality design component that the community is seeking. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Do the audit committee members have any questions or comments to this?
You know, I'll just make a couple comments. This is Vice Mayor Whitehead, that I listen in to the DRB meetings because I learn a lot, and I'm just incredibly appreciative of this board's work and their expertise. So I will make a motion to continue the Development Review Board, make that recommendation to council.
Do I have a second?
And I second that. This is Virginia.
All right. Thank you very much. Does the audit committee members have any questions or comments other than this before we do this? Okay. Shelby, would you please take a roll call vote?
Sure. Chair Littlefield,
Yes.
Councilmember Cordy,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Whitehead.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you very much. Next, we have a discussion and possible direction to staff regarding the Planning Commission Sunset Review. Again, our presenter will be our City Auditor, Sharon Walker.
Madam Chair, members of the Audit Committee, the Planning Commission's purpose is to hold public hearings as required by law and make recommendations to the City Council on matters within the scope of the planning and zoning powers that are available to the city. They act as an advisory board to the City Council on land use and zoning matters. And so the requested audit committee action as displayed on the screen is the same as with the previous DRB review. And also Tim Curtis, who is the staff representative for the Planning Commission, is available to make comments.
Thank you very much. Tim, do you have anything you'd like to add at this time?
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the committee. I think Ms. Walker expressed the need for the Planning Commission. It is a requirement of the state law, and it is outlined in the city code to support the City Council. It is a recommending body for the most part to the City Council on a variety of proposals, land use proposals. And it does provide a great opportunity for public involvement in clearing up items before it gets to the City Council. So, of course, we recommend that this Planning Commission stay intact in terms of its function and role and be available for any questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Does the audit committee members have any questions or comments?
Chair Littlefield, this is Virginia Cordy. I move to recommend continuing the Planning Commission existence to the City Council.
And I will second that.
Thank you very much, both of you. Shelby, would you please take a roll call vote?
Chair Littlefield,
Yes.
Councilmember Cordy,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Whitehead.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. And I know it is a surprise, but the Planning Commission will continue. Thank you. Next item is number 4, which is a discussion and possible direction to staff regarding report number 2110, National Transit Database Financial Data Review for fiscal year 1920. And our presenter this afternoon is Mr. Paul Christiansen.
Chair Littlefield and members of the Audit Committee, as you may recall, last year we performed an agreed upon procedures engagement looking at the transit program's conformance with the uniform reporting standards that are required for data submitted to the National Transit Database Program. Now, because of the exceptions noted, the NTD required the city's transit program to have this review performed again. Now, first, an agreed upon procedures engagement is different than a regular audit. For this review, we follow the American Institute of CPA standards, and the CPA only performs the specifically requested procedures and then reports on those results. For this review, AICPA guidance detailed the specific procedures agreed to by the Federal Transit Administration, which is the federal agency operating the NTD program. And due to its program participation, these procedures were also agreed to by the Transit and Streets Department Transportation and Street Department's transit program. Now, the results for each of these procedures are included in the report. The transit program supporting documentation used to prepare the NTD reporting forms did not fully reconcile the accounting system's amounts to the reported amounts, and the federal program rules require such a reconciliation. Examples of compilation and reconciliation errors included reporting costs that included some indirect costs, such as facilities and risk management. However, certain other indirect costs incurred by the city, such as legal and human resources, and the full accrual costs of paid absences were not included. We noted that $31,000 of general fund contributions were misclassified as sales tax contributions. We also noted that the documentation did not reconcile the capital asset additions amount in the accounting system to the amount reported to the NTD, resulted in almost $16,000 not included in the report. We noted that one report amount of $12,541 was duplicated in the report. And we noted that the cost allocation method used to allocate 14 of the 26 shared operating costs across modes was not documented. Now, these shared costs are related to both trolley and bus operations and must be allocated between each of these two programs. Overall, the total reported expenditures were about $16,000 higher than the expenses recorded in the accounting system. And while there are still data differences, this result is actually much improved from the prior review. This type of report does not include audit recommendations, but we included management's response letter acknowledging the discrepancies and committing to address them. In that regard, the Transportation and Streets Department staff is currently working to update its NTD report to address these differences so that they can submit a revised report to the NTD. Mark Melenchenko and Ratna Korapelli from the Transportation and Streets Department are also available if you have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions from the Audit Committee for the auditors or for the transit staff, either one?
This is Virginia. None from me. Thank you.
Me neither. Thank you.
Okay. Is there going to be, I have a question for the auditor, I guess for Paul. Is there going to be a follow-up on this to ensure that the changes are made appropriately on how they record these things?
Now, the FTDA may ask the department to ask us to do this procedure again. It may not. It will be up to them. But as before, and with Sharon's approval, we likely will follow up with them on an informal basis at the very least to ensure that things have been corrected going forward.
Great, thank you. Okay, do I have a motion to accept this
Madam
report?
Chair?
Yes.
This is Mark Melenchenko. If I might just say a couple of words.
Yes, of course.
Madam Chair and committee members, just wanted to pass on. I started here in Scottsdale in August, and I was kind of cast into the middle of this process that Ratna and Paul were working on regarding this NTD submittal. It's extremely extensive, and I think what I've learned and what Paul has passed on is that we have rectified many of the issues that were brought up previously, and that we also have learned from those kind of a lessons learned, and we are putting together steps in the future to implement some of these lessons learned. One of them, take for instance, is to reconcile our data each month using templates that are developed. So instead of waiting quite a ways into the yearly process, we're looking at a monthly update of all of this data as an example of some of the lessons learned that we're putting in the process. So I think overall it was a great team effort amongst the City Auditor's Department and Ratna Korapella and her staff and the transit side of our department. And I just wanted to pass that on, that I think we are definitely on the right track regarding our National Transit Database submittal.
That is very, very good to hear. Thank you very much, Mark.
You're welcome.
Are there any questions regarding that from my committee?
No, but thank you for the remarks.
Okay.
you.
Do I have a motion to approve this audit? Audit number 2110, National Transit Database Report.
So moved.
Second,
Okay. Shelby, would you please take a roll call vote?
Chair Littlefield,
Yes.
Councilmember Cordy,
yes.
Vice Mayor Whitehead.
Yes.
Okay. Motion is approved, and we can move on to item number 5, the city auditor updates, including the status of the FY 2021 audit plan. This will be presented by our auditor, Sharon Walker.
Madam Chair, members of the Audit Committee, I will keep this brief. Because we had 3 audits that carried over from the prior fiscal year into this fiscal year, I was probably a little bit ambitious in estimating where we would be at this point. So while we are about 1 audit behind where I thought we would be, we're actually, as you can see from the pastel lines, right on track, even slightly ahead of where we normally are at this point. So in terms of just the audit plan progress, we're doing pretty well. I also did want to share some information. A week or so ago, and you may have seen something about this in the news, that Scottsdale Unified School District is interested in exploring some options for internal audit services. And so a week or so ago, the superintendent spoke with Jim Thompson, the city manager, and then was referred to me and has talked with me. We've exchanged some emails. I provided the school district with information on how the city auditor's office is structured and the city charter and city code, and about the audit committee and the council oversight of my office. And the superintendent, Scott Menzel, is working on setting up a meeting so that he and I can sit down with a couple of the board members so that I can help them a little bit more explore what their options may be and help give them some background on what helps an internal audit function to be effective. So I wanted to update you on that. One reason why this request is particularly interesting to me is actually I first came to Arizona to start up the Auditor General's Division of School Audits. And so auditing school districts, doing the classroom dollars report. That's what brought me here originally. So I have a lot of interest, and hopefully we'll be able to help the school district as they explore what their options are. And I wanted the audit committee to be aware that those discussions are going on, just in case you hear any questions about it.
Thank you very much. And I'm glad to hear that, Sharon. Although we are separate and independent administrations, we work together hand in hand, and our relationships are very cordial. Anything that we can do to help our school districts here in Scottsdale is all to the good as far as I can see. Are there any comments from committee members?
No, other than I think it is a great way to share resources so there's less costs to taxpayers ultimately.
This is Virginia. I think this is great, and I certainly commend you, Sharon, and the city manager, and of course the school district for being creative and innovative and looking at new ways to be more efficient and share our resources. I think that's what the city is all about when it comes to our school system, and it's important to support our school district when we can. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate the feedback.
Yes, thank you. I think we're all in agreement. This is a great way to work together. Do I have a motion to accept the city auditor's updates?
So moved. I move to accept the city auditor's updates.
I'm not sure that it's actionable, but I'll second it.
Yep, I'm not either, but I will vote for it and say we all approve. And I think that's a yes from all of us. Any dissenters? Okay, thank you very much, Sharon. And finally, we have item number 6, discussion and possible direction to staff regarding potential agenda items for our next audit committee meeting.
So as you can see, the next meeting is planned to be in February, since with the new council, new audit committee member. So to give time for some of those organizational things to happen, our next meeting will be in February. And so as a result, right now, I think that we will have several items on that agenda, a review of the city court's minimum accounting standards, which is actually similar to what we just did with the NTD review. It's agreed upon procedures. E-Verify, which we do every year, state compliance requirement. And then we have a performance audit of code enforcement operations. We may have our construction contract audit of fire station contracts done, and then some of the usual updates. So I think that the February meeting, we should have several items and hopefully can get back into our usual pattern of meeting every other month instead of every single month, just to balance it out a little bit.
Yes. Are there any comments or questions from any committee members either?
No, thank you.
Virginia?
No, thank you.
Okay. And I don't suppose we need a motion to accept?
No, this is just a draft.
Okay, very good. I would like to say something to Virginia, and it's a personal feeling, but it's very deep to me. I want to thank you, Councilmember Cordy, for your input while a member of this committee. You have added a great deal of knowledge and insight and expertise while serving with us on this committee. And I want to take this opportunity to thank you personally for all you have done for Scottsdale. Thank you.
And I would certainly like to weigh in and say I agree and thank you, and let's stay in touch.
Well, thank you. It's certainly been an honor to serve with both of you. I've enjoyed my time on the audit committee. It's a wonderful opportunity to really see how the city works, and my commendation to Sharon and your entire staff. It is top notch, and it really is a wonderful representation of the city's transparency and efficiencies. So thank you, Sharon and staff, and thank you, Kathy and Solange, for your kind words.
And I would also like to thank you, Councilmember Cordy. I really appreciate your being willing to listen to audits for the past 8 years. And so from both me and my staff, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Are there any additional comments? I believe our business is completed today. May I have a motion to adjourn?
So
moved.
I'll second.
We are adjourned. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.